It's time to smile. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Del Mar. The band is back together. Love sitting here with this gentleman, Tom Quigley, Tommy. His buddies call him. I don't call him Tommy. I just call him TQ. You can find him on Twitter or X at Quigley's_corner. We'll get to his notes here shortly, but we got a couple stakes going on today. Grade 3 Best Pal, which is race 4. And then in race 9, the Grade 2 Yellow Ribbon, Fillies and Mayors going a mile and a 16th on the turf course. How you doing, Tom? Good to see
Benny,
you.
happy Saturday. What a great gambling card, right?
Absolutely. Awesome
Del Mar
card.
produces gambling card after gambling card. The gambling has been fantastic. The Pats have been great. What about you yesterday? Forget about me, $22.40 winner, Max Chow, right off the Trip Note Pros.
I love it, man. It's all the positivity. I mean,
All it takes is one race.
It's true. Positive ROI, but, blind squirrels eat too. So I missed the rest of the card. That was my wager. I had to pick 2 winners, or I didn't get to pick my outfit. So I'm matching my pen today.
No
on Saturday.
paycheck without 2 winners, minimum.
Absolutely. Hopefully we get at least that today. Hopefully more, and a positive ROI again.
With prices.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Let's jump right in. We've got 10 races here. We're going to start off going 5/8 on the turf course. Seems like this turf course, wow. If you're not in front on the lead, you got a tough time of it out here. Who you got in the first, Tom?
I would agree with you, Benny. Race 1 kicks off the popular 50-cent early pick 5. And you talk about speed. I will say one thing in race 1. There is a tremendous amount of early speed, in my opinion. The inside 3 have to go. The Los Al Shipper, number 5, All the Greats, has to go. So in my opinion, it might melt down even though it's only at 5 furlongs. Typically, the 5 furlong sprint races favor inside post. But I'll tell you what, Mackenzie Spirit comes out of some really good races. But Tim Yakteen, only 3 for 51 with first-time turf. So I'm going to throw him out, even though he's part of the Spree Brigade. Specifically, Benny, I'm going to go to the outside in number 7, Uncle Dude. Take a look at the purchase price for Uncle Dude at auction. 25 times the stallion fee. They expected big things from this horses. And Phil D'Amato with layoff runners coming back in excess of 180 days. Some familiar names. Shea Brennan, Speedy Wilson, Thought Process. He can get runners ready off a layoff. There have been 5 next out winners out of that race on Breeders' Cup weekend that Uncle Dude exits. He got demolished that day. But 5 next out stakes winners as well, winning all around the country, not at B tracks, at the premier tracks. If he gets the pace meltdown that I think he's going to get, number 7, Uncle Dude at 6-1 is going to be my top selection. I'm ready today, Benny.
I mean, just coming in swinging with facts. I did not know this.
No
I
opinions, just
overlooked
facts.
this one. I mean, truth be told, I didn't trip this horse. Hasn't been seen since November, but
First time Lasix to boot.
I like what you're throwing out there. And sadly, you're giving me a stat which I hate to see because I had the one on top, actually. I actually thought that Mackenzie, I saw it the same way that you did as the race shaping up with some heat up front. But 3 for 51 is pretty cold. I thought that those works out at Turfway were a hint that maybe they were going to give this one a swing, shipping in and trying on turf. And the works do seem good out there over that synthetic surface. And that was really the only reason I like this one. I upgraded a couple that I thought were a little bit too cheap. I do think there's some cheap speed in here, but I did land on number 1. So 7-3 for you. I'm going to mark these down because this was not one of my strongest opinions. And wow, Mackenzie Street's the 5-2 morning line favorite. So, yuck. All right, looks like I may be wearing pink again tomorrow. We'll see. Race number 2, we're going 6.5 on the dirt. $100,000 up for grabs for these babies fillies.
Maiden filly 2-year-olds, Benny. And, I think you're going to see 1 or 2 entrants out of this race perform and run well in the Del Mar debutante because 6.5 furlongs, I believe the first time they've run at this distance for 2-year-old fillies. And that's the key to my wager in race number 2, Benny, because number 7, Bad Manners, is bred to really run 2 turns. I think Richard Mandela has been specifically waiting, for this particular distance. And here's the reason why. I'm a Chatterbox the Dam, earned $2.3 million in her career. Monster. Multiple grade 1 winner. She hasn't been that productive as a broodmare, but she's thrown 2 foals. One of them finished second upon debut. Forget about all that. Here's the key to the bet. You see that bullet workout back on June 26th for Bad Manners? She was working in company that day with another filly from the Richard Mandela barn named Bourbon and Ginger. You don't need to have a long-term memory to remember Bourbon and Ginger beat a Bob Baffert Mounster last Saturday.
Yes.
Bad Manners, if you watch the workouts courtesy of FirstTV.com, you'll see Bad Manners outworked Bourbon and Ginger. She drew a good outside post. I think she's going to run well here today. I think she's going to even run better in the Del Mar debutante. Richard's done well in the Del Mar Debutante over the years. Perfect spacing, basically 30 days between now and then. Bottle of Rouge, of course, is the one to beat. Lost to Himiko, who we're going to see run tomorrow in the Sorrento. In my opinion, the best 2-year-old filly in Southern California so far that we've seen. Bob Baffert needs no introduction to these baby races. Once again, like race 1, I'll make race 2 7-3.
I think you were plagiarizing my notes, Tom, because I've got the exact same information as you do on Bad Manners. No need to talk anymore about this race. I've got it 7-3 as well. All right, let's move on into the third. We've got Calbreds or California Sired Maidens going 5/8 on the turf course.
We talked about the inside post, being so productive. And of course, Gadavri is going to be the overwhelming favorite in race number 3, and understandably so. But she's been the beaten favorite the last 2 times out. And I use this analogy all the time, Benny, and it's often, should be applied more often by horse players. They asked Wayne Gretzky one time, the Hall of Fame hockey player, what makes you such a great hockey player? And he said, I don't skate to where the puck is. I skate to where I think the puck is going to be. He was anticipating where the puck was going to be. Average hockey players just skate to where the puck is. That's what separated him, and that's what horse players make the mistake. They're all going to gravitate to Gadavri, and of course she might win. She's the most likely winner, but she's going to be an underlay. We're here to make money. Because of that, I think there's a sneaky long shot in this race. This is going to be my long shot play of the day, Benny, and it's number 7, Vronaway. You look at her one running line, and you want to basically find the closest garbage can and throw the racing form in it, because there wasn't much to her effort at 17-1. But you need to dig a little bit deeper. First of all, she showed speed and then backed up very badly. Looks like the form of a bleeder. She's able to use Lasix today. You dig a little bit deeper. The winner of that race was actually trained by the same trainer, Mr. Haragi. So he had 2 in. The breeding also screams for turf as well. Half to Bossway. Bossway, if you go back and look, the breeding, the half-brother, won 2 turf sprint races, so the breeding is there to be a sprint runner. And more importantly, here's 2 statistics. I love Daily Racing Form Formulator, because you can basically dig up these statistics at the press of a button. O.J. Hargy with first-time turf runners that are not first-time starters. Over the last 5 years, he's done that 28 times. He's won with 8 of them. That's over a 27% win clip, 29% to be specific. And his first-time Lasix runners, which is Vronaway's using today for the first time, again, not a first-time starter, 6 for 28, 20% as well. So at 20-1 on the morning line, I can be wrong 19 times and still show a flat bet profit. I guarantee you in this situation, Vronaway's going to win at least 1 out of every 20 times. He uses go-to jockey Ace Espinosa as well. They were a very potent combo up north when Golden Gate was running. Vronaway, my long shot play of the day. Number 9, Zip Me Up. For similar reasons, Carla Gaines just had a first-time starter winner yesterday, but the dam on Zip Me, very prolific on turf, almost $1 million earner for trainer Marty Jones. She's had 6 foals. 3 of them hit the winner's circle. First time out, including this full brother that was also trained by Carla Gaines. I'm going to look for an upset here. 7-9 in race 3.
Search no more, and I'm not going to add anything because my bet of the day was scratched in here. Sometimes I feel like I could stop Secretariat. My bet of the day I show up is like inevitably scratched like 40-50% of the time. So Vronaway, 7-9 for Mr. Quigley in the third. Love that. 20-1 all day, every day.
Correct.
Coming with facts again. Coming with facts. I love it. All right, race number 4, no show wagering. We do have a field of 5. Can you beat the morning line favorite, Desert Gate?
I despise being that average hockey player to skate where the puck is, but I'll tell you what, in this particular case, Desert Gate sure looks like a single in all the multi-race exotics. Bob Baffert's won this races 3 consecutive years. He's going for his 4th win in a row in the Best Pal. He's perfectly drawn outside. The 3rd place finisher came back to win. We talked about Himiko, the very talented Bob Baffert filly who's running tomorrow. Desert Gate worked in company with her back on July 11th for the workout. The concern would be lightly raced 2-year-old. We saw that yesterday. Hero or Zero, the Doug O'Neill horse who was odds-on favorite, looked to be a certain winner of the graduation stakes, finished a really bad beaten 3rd. So, but Baffert horses typically don't bounce or react off their debut races. I'll put Desert Gate on top. If you wanted to be a wise guy, Briganti is probably the wise guy horse in this field. 3 next out winners out of that debut race on the turf, including the winner who went back to Monmouth Park and won the $100,000 Tyro Stakes for trainer John Sadler. You can see 2 bullet works since that race on the main track, indicating that probably Briganti likes the main track. Might maybe be able to upset the field, but in my opinion, Benny, a free bingo square for number 5, Desert Gate. Captain Obvious.
Yeah, I'm with you. Gosh darn it.
I hate it. Captain Obvious.
I mean, 3 to 5 is probably generous. If you could lock that in now, you would. You're going to get 1-9 in this race, I think. That's why there's no show wagering. Let's move on. We got plenty of work to do. moving forward. Okay, race number 5, beginning of the pick 6, no carryover today. We've got a field of 8 going a flat mile on the turf course for non-winners of 1. The girls taken to the turf course.
As we rattle through these races that are upcoming, Benny, I'm going to talk about a few reasons why I don't like the favorite. And the morning line favorite is number 3, Eiffel from the Mike Pipey barn. She was brilliant in victory when she sprinted at Santa Anita. She put in a breathtaking late run. I thought she could be any kind, and I do think she's going to run well today. But statistics, not opinion, statistics.
Love this.
Trainer Mike Pipey going sprint to route on the turf course the last 5 years. He's done it 71 times. He's won 5 times for 7%. So Mike Pipey, love him, excellent trainer, but this is just not a category that he excels in. He's asking her to do something for the very first time in her life. She's never done it, and she's going to be the post-time favorite. This is a little bit of an inscrutable race to me. I think they're all relatively evenly matched, but I will go with number 2, Magali, as my top pick. Going sprint to route. Ran against Older last time, now runs against her own age group, takes the blinkers off, sired by the hot sire of Vacoma. It's a little bit of a guess, but at the same point in time, Juan Hernandez elects to ride for trainer Richie Baltus. I think she's going to be close to a relatively slow pace. And speaking of a slow pace, I think probably the most likely pace setter is going to be number 4, Innovative. Last time out, lost the thought process, who came back to win the Grade 2 San Clemente. Not my favorite type of race because, like I said, most of them are evenly matched, but I'll make race 5, Benny, 2-4.
Well, we're gonna part ways here briefly.
That's okay.
Ribbons. I love ribbons. Okay, so I've got nothing bad to say other than your 5 for 71 statistic for Mr. Pipey, but I love ribbons. This race was huge last time. I thought that the likely winner of that race was going to be Lady Chic, who came back, who was defeated by Eiffel that day. Also ran huge. These two sprinted through the clubhouse turn. They could have run through a brick wall. I thought they would both route. Lady Chic came back, just kind of laid an egg. And Ribbons is the one that beat her that day. They went fast early. I think she's going to make the lead again. And she just has this grit about her. On the gallop out, after going fast, so I'm big on gallop outs. I think a lot of people misread them because they're just an extension of that trip, right? So if you're going fast early, it's okay to not gallop out with the leaders, right? You're tired. Whereas a lot of the stretch runners, they gallop out in front. People say, oh, that was an amazing gallop out. Maybe, but they're just passing tired horses. Ribbons last time did not want to be passed on the gallop out. She pinned her ears. She had that grit. It's kind of like my daughter, that DNA. She's just
a pit bull.
She's a pit bull, man. And I remember my wife saying, oh, she's going to be just like you. This is terrible. You got to stop teaching her that. You're too competitive. I said, this is not nature here, or nurture. This is all nature. This is DNA. I think Ribbons has that. I think she's going to make the lead early, and I think she's going to be very difficult to pass. I did upgrade her into that race. Sadly, I did not play at 25 to 1.
You missed the wedding.
I admit it. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't show up to the funeral. We'll find out because I'm taking Ribbons in race number 5, who's 5 to 1 on the morning line. All right. If you missed the pick 6, which we won't be. We'll be live for sure. I mean, last time we were here, didn't we hit the pick 6?
We did.
Okay.
We did.
All right. So here, we're
That's
live.
ancient history.
Yes, that's true. You're only as good as your last day. Race number 6, if you're not live in the pick 6, we're starting off the pick 5. We're going a flat mile on the dirt. Let's see, non-winners of 1 types.
1 mile in the dirt primarily favors early speed. The statistics are there to show that early speed somewhat dominates. Not every race, but percentagely, certainly early speed dominates. I'll talk about who I like in a minute, but again, focusing on the morning line favorite, named in honor of our good friend that used to work at the Daily Racing Form, Privman number 6 from the Bob Baffert barn. Going to be the post-time favorite, but I'm skeptical. And here's the reason why. Nothing personal against Jay, but you go back and look through his form. His debut race this year at Pimlico, he finished second at odds of basically 1 to 5. The winner was 67 to 1 that day, has come back to do nothing since. Then came back at Churchill Downs in June, finished second again. 2 races since for the winner of that particular race, has done nothing since then as well. My point is, Privman has not been coming out of live races when he shipped out of town. He ran well, but the horses he lost to didn't perform well subsequently. Last time out, stretched out to a mile right here at Del Mar. As a 3-year-old, did okay, but nothing in my opinion that was overwhelming. Now has to run against Older. At a short price, I'll try and beat him. I'm going to use number 3, Vasa, because I think Vasa is going to be the controlling speed in the race, going from a sprint to a route. And I talked earlier about the stud fee in comparison to the purchase price at auction. Take a look at the stud fee for number 3, Vasa, and take a look at the purchase price. That's a 56 times multiple. That means that there was a bidding war for this horse, and nobody wanted to let go. Mark Ladd eventually wound up winning for his owners, and now I think gets to do what what he wants to do, which is go 2 turns. I think he'll be the controlling speed. He didn't change leads last time. He's going to have to fix that a little bit in just his 3rd lifetime start. And Mark Lapp might complete the exacta with number 1, Lyle Song. If you have the racing form in front of you, you can see 92 is the par buyer speed figure for a race of this caliber. Lyle Song last time out ran a 93, losing to a very impressive John Sadler runner, also as a first-time gelding last time out for Lyle Song. I'll make race 6, Benny, 3-1. Who you like?
I like the 1. I like the other Glatt. I'm a track bias guy, and I admit it. I plagiarize the track biases from our good friend Pick 6 Paul. He's the one that does them. We had actually Vasa's race as a late running outside bias on opening day. It seemed like everything was coming over the top that day, and that's the reason why I did fade Vasa. Obviously, what you talked about with the stretch out could be controlling speed, could move up. But I did lean on Lyle's Song. I thought ran against a bias the following day. One day we had a late running outside track, and I thought that day number 2 here at Del Mar was laden towards speed and inside runner. So was drawn outside that 9-hole at a 10 going a flat mile. That's not where you want to begin the race, and just kind of looped and gradually looked like a winner and just hung a little bit. We think it was from the track bias. So going to be 1-7. 7's out. So take out the 7. Field of 6 going in the 6th. All right, let's move into the 7th race. Going a flat mile on the turf course, optional claimers, late pick 4 kicking off.
If you didn't know the conditions of this race, Benny, you would have thought this might have been a stakes race, because as you look through the entrants for this particular field, a number of them last ran in a stakes race. So interesting that they all qualified for this optional claiming non-winners of 3 races, and there were other conditions or other restrictions in the conditions as well. Let's talk about Gold Phoenix, who's the 6-5 morning line favorite. Hard to root against Little Red Feather. They've been on fire with all their runners up to this point. They have a lot of fun. I hate to be Debbie Downer, but I'm not sure Gold Phoenix is going to hit the winner's circle today. Here's the reason why. A, he's getting a little bit long in the tooth. He's a 7-year-old. B, we know that he loves the Del Mar turf course, but are we sure that he really likes 1 mile? Granted, he's 2 for 4 at the distance, but those races were way back when. He's been more of a marathon turf runner. The finish line might come up a little bit quick for him, particularly at 6-5. I'm going to play against him, and I think the key race to utilize in order to try and beat him is the Wicker Stakes, because 4 of these 8 runners come out of the Wicker Stakes, and I think the one that's going to get the best trip, in my opinion, is the outside drawn runner, number 8, Beyond Brilliance. Second off the long layoff for trainer John Sheriffs. Never got in the race early, which is uncharacteristic for him. Hopefully he's still retaining his speed once again at the age of 7. But I do like the jock quote-unquote upgrade from Drayden over to Hector Barrios. Hector rides this turf course, all turf courses, extremely well. Albanderis, the winner of the Wicker, was actually last ran in the Frankie Kilroe. He dominated the Wicker. He made the other runners look kind of like second fiddle. But I do think the winner in the race, the winner of today's 7th race, is going to exit the Wicker Stakes. I'll put Beyond Brilliant on top, but I also give a little bit of a look, Benny, to number 5, Astronomer. Second off the layoff. That was his first race in the Wicker since February. Almendares once again won the race. Antonio Frace, who takes over in the saddle. I like this race from a betting standpoint because I think Gold Phoenix is vulnerable. I'll make it 8-5.
They do have a lot of fun, don't they?
Oh, my God.
If you hate fun, don't ever buy a horse with Little Red Feather, because that's all they do. These guys
the only
have
word
a
they know.
Yes. It's fun to just go up there and watch. Sometimes I sit up on the veranda. I admit it. I don't watch the race. I watch that crew, and I've filmed them a couple times. Just because it's hilarious. You never know what you're going to see. It's a blast. I'm with you. I do think Gold Phoenix can win, but did not put the 6-5 favorite on top. And I also like Beyond Brilliant for the same reasons that you mentioned. I thought this was just an absolute prep last time anyway. Nothing against Drayden Van Dyke. I feel like if it was a live runner, Hector would have climbed on. It was like, okay, maybe today anyway. Over a 2.5-year layoff.
Correct.
Come on, nobody does that anyway, especially with the patient hands of Mr. John Sheriffs. And just an absolutely brutal trip early. So this, where you say didn't get into the race, had no chance to get into the race. Was just knocked around, congested field. This pace actually slowed a bit through the middle stages of this race. I call that kind of an accordion flow, where they crunch together and then they stretch out again. It leaves the back markers almost with no chance in that race. So I think Beyond Brilliant. Today is the day for that runner with Hector Barrios aboard. All right, let's head into race number 8. Non-winners of 2, lifetime 10 claimers. I know these are your favorite runners. We're going to take out the 13 and 14. Field of 12. One of my favorite names, by the way, James J. Braddock. Do you know the movie?
I'm not a movie guy, believe it or not.
Man, I'm not either. But if you haven't seen it, Cinderella Man, all-timer. All-time great movie.
I trust your judgment.
So if you're looking for a hunch play of the day, man, Cinderella Man with James J. Braddock.
You might need a hunch play of the day in this particular race because you've got 10 dime claimers, non-winners of 2 races. Lifetime is not my forte. Maybe the paddock will give me some indication of who might be live today, but at the moment,
8 to 5. I know you're not taking 8 to 5. Rather chew glass than take the 8 to 5.
No shot. Number 6, what's the buzz? Let's take a look at his form for the moment. A lot of handicappers might not know the name Jose Valdez. I certainly didn't until near the end of the San Anita meet because he's a relatively newcomer to the training circuit here in Southern California. He's the longtime assistant for trainer Hector Palma. Hector Palma is a very, very good trainer, and Jose Valdez has gotten off to a good start. The reason why I mention that is there's a barn change. This is the first time Jose Valdez is going to train What's the Buzz, and I think that could make the difference. You can see since his last race on July 5th, What's the Buzz has a bullet workout. Granted, only 3 furlongs, but that's good enough for 10-dime claimers. We want to see early speed in this type of race. You're going to see a lot of 1 for 13s, 1 for 10s in this race. But I think What's the Buzz has every right to improve at a morning line odds of 5 to 1. And drawn right outside of him, number 7, Majestic Palisades, goes from a route to a sprint, and somewhat subtly last time out, Majestic Palisades, not only was that a $25,000 claimer, that was non-winners of 3 races lifetime. He was racing 1 level above his condition. Now he drops down to non-winners of 2 lifetime. I like typically, Benny, in these type of races, routers that show speed now cutting back because they're going to put in a late run because they're just kind of getting warmed up and they have that early speed to somewhat stay in contention. I'll make race number 8, 6, 7 in that order.
And I love Diego Herrera. You know that I do. He's writing your top pick, number 6, What's the Buzz? So good info. I did not know that. Hector Palma.
I'm here to help.
Great. I know. Well, you know, I've plagiarized so much stuff. You're going to hear it all in about 20 minutes.
Nobody's watching. Don't worry.
I'm going to land on number 3, Spiritist, for one reason only. This horse just had a brutal trip last time and actually stayed on very well. The pace was fast. This one sucked in right behind the pace. I call this prolonged in-between running. It's not where you want to be. It's like the cattle call when you're walking out of here in between walkers and you're just miserable. That's why we head to a different gate because we don't want to deal with that. Spiritist at 12 to 1, I think will be forwardly placed. I've really grown to like Armando Ayuso. So
love him.
Man, it's just...
He can do it all, right? Sprint, long, dirt.
Dirt. And the turf is what gets it for me, that
course.
Intellect where you know somebody's paying attention. So
rising star.
Absolutely. 12 to 1 for Spiritist. Looks like we got a couple prices in the 8th. All right, the co-feature of the day, the Grade 2 Yellow Ribbon, Phillies Mare, is going a mile and a 16th.
It's a handicap, so the racing office has designated highway to both number 1, Hang the Moon, and number 3, Lagaria. I certainly respect those fillies, and trainer Phil D'Amato trains 4 of the 8 runners in this particular race. The concern is there's really no early pace in the race, so that makes for handicapping this race very, very difficult. But I'll tell you what, you might have watched the tape of her last race because I did, and I was very impressed, and I'm specifically referring, Benny, to number 2, Heredia from the Graham Motion Barn. The DRF formulator, as I mentioned, does so many great things. One of the things they do is they are able to calculate the internal fractions for each individual runner so you don't have to do the actual calculation. Heredia in her last race at Saratoga came home in 21.21 seconds. That was her final quarter mile. Now, when turf runners finish their final quarter mile in 22 or 23, that catches my eye. When they finish in 21 and change, that means business. And you can see the turn of foot in her race at Aqueduct before that as well. I think she's got that explosive turn of foot that most East Coast runners have. I'm going to just single her. I'm not even giving out an exact in race in the yellow ribbon, Benny. I'm going to single number 2, Heredia.
I do like Heredia as well. For the exact reason that you just mentioned. I had this pace is slower than normal and then slowing. So it was upside down, and then it just went completely uphill, and she almost ran everybody over through the lane. All right, couple minutes left here. We got one race to go. Not surprising, perfect timing with Mr. Quigley.
We got nothing to worry about.
Maiden special weights, Calbreds, or California sired 3-year-olds and up going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt.
Going to end it a little bit chalky here, Benny, with the morning line favorite, the first-time starter, number 7, Crystal Clean from the John Sadler barn. Here's the reason why, again, courtesy of our friends at Daily Racing Form Formulated. John Sadler, with his first-time starters on the dirt course, using Hector Barrios in a sprint race on the dirt. Over the last 14 times he's done that, he's had 5 wins and 4 seconds. He's 9 for 14 fitting those categories. Dirt sprints, first-time starters using Hector Barrios. The clockers like Crystal Clean as well. The dam is okay in terms of precocity. She's thrown 3 foals, just 1 second-place finisher. But typically when John Sadler uses Hector Barrios and it's in a dirt sprint race, they mean business. I'll also take a look At number 9, Surf and Candy, another first-time starter, this time from the Sean McCarthy barn. He hits at 14% with his first-time starters, not bad at all, but the clockers are raving about Surf and Candy. Multiple clockers, not just one. Surf and Candy working well for her debut as well. I'll close it out, 7-9 in the nightcap, Benny.
I'm with you. I'm with you on Crystal Clean. 17% on dirt, and the pedigree too, right? We're standing in Kentucky. It's almost an unfair fight. You don't want to show up with a butter knife at a gunfight. So I will land on number 7. Number 5 would be my second pick. Speed, Tough Trip on debut, dueled, stuck around for place money. So 7-5 for me. Pure gold, man.
You can plagiarize all my statistics.
I don't
It's
know
not
why.
copyrighted.
I don't even know why I did the work. I could have just had you in my ear the whole
Isn't
time.
that the whole idea of this?
Good stuff
People
coming
watch,
from. Yeah.
You know, because they had too much to drink last night.
Absolutely.
We were up working when they were just coming home from a night out on the town.
100%. At Quigley's_corner. Make sure you follow him on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We've got 32 minutes before we kick off the opener here at Del Mar on a Saturday.